Hello everybody, how's everybody doing? Today we're talking about prefix. What is prefix? Let's find out. All right, let's go on. What is prefix? A prefix is a group of letters added to the beginning of a base word that can change the meaning of the word and create a new word. So here, in this example, our prefix. See if we can write down. This is our prefix. This one right here. Unhappy. Un is a prefix plus happy, which is a base word. Happy is our base word. Base word. And unhappy is the new word. Okay. All right. So here we have the prefix, which is un, and then happy, which is the base word. But together, the prefix and the base word create the new word, which is unhappy. Because happy, of course, means to be happy, and unhappy means not to be happy, right? So even though the word happy is in the unhappy word, it doesn't mean happy anymore, right? So it's a new word. So it's created by adding the prefix, and prefix is un. Okay. So this is pretty straightforward, and if not, just play it back. So let me see. Let's erase that part. So, but what is the base word, Mr. Cordero? What is base word? Well, base word is a word that can be stand on its own and has meaning. New words can be made by adding a prefix to a base word. Not all words are base words, okay? So only base words can be called base words because you could add a prefix to it, which changes a word. For example, here we have some of the very common ones that we've seen, which is the which is right here, non, un, right, dis, im, or in. These are all mean not, right? So every time you see that in front of a word, that prefix there means not or no, right? You can change a word to mean the opposite. For example, these words right here mean the opposite, right? So we use unhappy. We know that happy is to feel joy, right? So when you add the word un, which means not happy. So un is not happy. So now it's a new word, meaning not being happy, right? So you could have an unhappy, non-happy, similar, right? And if you were to see the word maybe dis in some word, im or in, this also means not. So that's very common to see these prefixes here, the non, the un, dis, im, or in a word, meaning the opposite, right? Or not. So the base word, once again, is a word that can stand alone, can stand on its own. So base word is just a word that can stand on its own, has its own meaning, but you can add a prefix to it. Okay, so that's enough for that. Let's go to the next slide. Here in this slide, I'm giving you some prefixes that they're going to benefit you and help you understand some of the work that I'm giving you after this video. And you can see that these are very common prefixes that we may see throughout the time that we're now in 3rd and 4th in elementary, and as we grow up, right? So these prefixes that are very common for us and we see often are pre, example, pre meaning before, like a pre-test, right? A preview. We have re, again, repeat it, right? Miss, which is badly, and by meaning to. Con and come, together with, meaning like comrades, right? Or we have semi is half, like semicircle, under, too little or not enough, right? So those are some of the common prefixes that we may see in a lot of words through our time, and they will help you with some of the assignment like I mentioned. So you feel free to come back to this video, pause it, and just go open up a new browser and work on the assignment. Now I'm going to go over a couple of examples of prefix in 2 questions that you might see in your assignments. So here goes some of the questions. So let's go over it together. And once again, if you have questions, pause it, rewind it, and see it again. All right, so here we have, let's practice it, prefix. Remember, prefix comes in the beginning of the word, and so we have my shoe is blank. They're telling you that it has to do with not tied. In parentheses means not tied. So what does mean not tied? Or the opposite of not. Remember, here as we can see, some of our choices are A, retied, untied, and distied. Okay, so which to you sounds correctly, right? Based on what you know. And remember the word not. So we have my shoe is retied. What did we say that re stood for? Let's go back to the slide. Re means again. Here, right? It says right here, retied, right? So do you, again, you tied it again? Again to tied? Is that what happened? No, so you know we could scratch retied again, right? Untied and distied. Those are other choices. Let's see, go to slide. Here we have dis and un together. Look, un here and dis is here, meaning not, or meaning the opposite. So those are the 2 choices we narrowed down to, untied and distied. Remember, unhappy meant not tied, and also if I were to say distied, we've never really heard it, right? We've heard untied, right? So the one that for us, based on elimination, we pick un, meaning no or not, untied. Okay, so that would be our choice, and B would be untied, our choice. Let me see, look at this. So here we are, be untied is the best choice we have. Even though this means also no or not, distied doesn't really sound right, right? So it also has something that we have to make sure we consider what we know in our knowledge and prior knowledge that we already have. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go with untied. So we're gonna go ahead and erase that one. Let's go to our next example. Here it says, my homework packet is not finished. Once again, not, which is homework packet, is refinished. It's not re because we're doing it again. So that's not it either. Right? It's not doing that again. It's unfinished or disfinish. It wouldn't be disfinished either. It's pretty much on our choice, unfinished, because it just means not, right? Or the opposite of that, right? So no, not finished, and unfinished is the correct choice. A homework packet is unfinished, and once again, guys, if there's a misleading or something that you may not understand, Let's go ahead and go back on that one. Here are the choices. Okay, meaning not, this, and un. Even though they're on the same one, we have to go also by ear. What sounds right for us, what sounds correctly, and prior knowledge, which word actually sounds good and right and correctly, and we could also look it up to make sure that these words make sense, right? So that's how we also create, and this is practice. All this stuff is practice. What makes when we write, even though maybe it's gonna be okay, but when we write and we're writing, we practice, and prefixes have to do with practicing what sounds better, what sounds right when we are writing, what's gonna sound, I guess, in the form of educated, right, when we're speaking, and that's how we pretty much work with prefixes. Practice, practice, practice all the time. So slide number 7. Here we have now for the real deal. I says click on the button under this video and post pictures of your work on Class Dojo. Don't forget to always post something on Class Dojo. Also, if you have questions or thoughts or ideas, get a hold of me. Send me a message. I like to hear what's going on in your brain, in your mind, when you're working on this stuff. Remember, prefixes have to do with practice, 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 and what sounds good, guys. And then also to understand those prefixes in regards to the beginning of the meaning of the word. What does it mean, right? And once again, go back and reference some of the pages that I have here, and to help you answer some of the questions. Don't forget to look down. See my little guy upside down already pointing down, so don't forget to hit that button and answer the questions. Please take your time, show the work if you have to, or you're thinking of on a piece of paper, and send me the messages through Class Dojo. And also hope to hear from you. Please stay safe. We'll talk later. All right, bye-bye.